Welcome, everybody, to Greg Heym's Crossing the Line. Woo. Thank you. Oh, wait, nobody's clapping.
We're done.
Yes, we're here with the man himself, the guy I affectionately call the Sarge, but apparently he doesn't like that. Shar Sedgh.
Nice to be
Esquire.
back. Nice to be back.
I got to have my attorney present because I get in all kinds of trouble here.
Back in the studio where I belong.
Lena's always smacking her head like, what is he saying? We're going to get in trouble. And filling in for our buddy Scott Nadler, who's just doing Nadler things, I'm sure. Morgan Wilkins.
Thank you.
Always great to have you.
Thank you.
Or
Thank you for
she's
having me
known
back.
in her family Motown.
Yes, my dad started that when I was very young.
That's like one of the cooler nicknames.
You know, I'm
get.
still suffering from that email. Like, I made it my email in, like, middle school.
No way.
Motown 1298. And now
That's
I'm...
the coolest thing in the world.
Thank you for giving me a job with my middle school email. I appreciate it.
Is that what you put on your resume?
Yes, it's literally on my resume.
But
It's
it was a Gmail.
It is a Gmail.
That saved you.
It's like
when I get
it's not like
when
Yahoo
I get Hotmail or something.
Yeah.
That's when I go. All right, you should probably.
For like an
change it.
MSN, I feel like that's a throwback.
AOL.
Yeah. those
CompuServe. Excite. I had an Excite email for years.
I don't even know
I
what
don't know
that
what
is.
that is.
My dad has a Ymail account.
I don't know.
won't even do Gmail.
That's when you
Ymail.
can't
I don't
afford
even know
Gmail.
that.
You go Ymail or Zmail or God forbid Zmail or something like that. Hey, it's the older generations just don't care about stuff like that. We're the ones it's got to be Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
It just upsets me because I'm in a constant battle with my son who is a junior. He took Instagram Greg Heym, so now I have to be Gregory Heym. And a lot of brokers will, send invites to him. And it's like, it's the wrong Greg. So, yeah, kid in his social media. So, he won't even accept my request to follow his site. I got to punish him for that. That reminds me.
No way you're seeing my stuff.
All right, so it was a wild weekend for me. I had this gig Saturday night, and
A new restaurant? Was this one?
first gig. I eat there all the time. It's our first gig there, the Nikki and Greg Experience. The beautiful Parkview in
Shout out
Wantagh,
the
great
Instagram.
place.
Is that a free
Not a
plug
plug.
or
Why not?
paid sponsorship?
And nothing's free on this show. By the way, Sarge, I didn't get greased on the way in here. Yeah, so if you want to find out more about the experience, it's the Nikki and Greg Experience,
Yes,
one
it is.
long word, with only one K in Nikki.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules.
So you were telling me the other day, the purpose of you being there was to extend people, like the stays by the people at the
The
table.
bar, they were looking for more
At the bar.
than what people, because the dinner crowd, like a lot of places, doesn't necessarily turn over as many times as they would like. But the dining room's actually, a lot of them are our friends and family and stuff. But, we had a great gig, phenomenal, everybody's talking about it. And then all of a sudden, we ended about 11:15, and everybody's watching the baseball game, right? And the wildest Game 7 in the history, maybe of any sport, happened.
The applause.
Yes, well,
Certainly.
they kept saying one more song, and then somebody requested a song I really didn't want to play, and I make sure I don't know for that very reason, and then we stopped. We gave them like an extra 15
What
minutes.
song was it that you were like, no
Tennessee
way?
Whiskey. I don't play modern
So
country.
Chris Stapleton?
I'm not saying I don't. It's not that I don't like him. I don't like the genre.
I think all your energy went to Thriller because that took a lot
We
out of you.
we were really worried about doing Thriller because it's only me on guitar, but thank the heavens for looper pedals and drum machines, and my great Vincent Price-like voice. Now my wife videoed this, but I'm gonna make sure that never sees the light of day. I haven't even seen
wanna
it
see
yet,
the
so.
video.
I would
It's not
love
like
to
I'm
see you do the
singing, I'm
dance.
just
I would love to
talking.
see you do the dance.
Yeah,
I-
please
I
stop. Well, I
can't.
guess you had your hands on the guitars, so it was.
Yes,
a bit
I had
tough.
to do and step on the right pedals at the right
Did you wear
time.
your zipper jacket?
No, it's still in my closet.
The leather?
No, parachute pants and like all that crap we wore in the 80s. All right, enough of that. Well, congratulations to the Dodgers. I still hate the team because I'm a Yankee fan.
These games go so late. They go so late.
And think about it, they used to go a lot later because now with the rules
The
about
pitch
mound
clock,
visits and
yeah.
pitch
Yeah.
clocks and stuff like that, it has shortened the games. But in playoff games, it's just it's going to take that long. They want it to take that long.
Didn't one game in this series go like 18 or
innings.
yeah,
that's
18
two
innings? It
full
was
games.
crazy.
Went till like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
See, that's when I'm happy the Yankees weren't in the World Series because I didn't have to stay up and watch it because I didn't care.
Yeah. I feel like these high these high-level games, Game 7s, a lot of them come in disappointing. There's so much hype going into it. Anytime I've gone to a Game 7, it's always been disappointing.
How many Game 7s you go to? I don't get an invite. Lena, did you get an invite? No. It's great to have him and Scott.
Scott
They always do
the
these
time.
great things.
Scott go
Of course you do. The two of you have got like...
Maury, you should join us.
Should I next time? I think I should. Yeah,
You guys wanna
exactly.
All right, on that happy note, we'll get
Nobody-
ready.
Feeling FOMO.
Nobody
Whoa.
at Game 7 wants to hear about the jobs report.
Do you think that's what I'm doing? Do you think I walk
So
around like I'm an
true.
economist shirt? I did have a T-shirt that I'm an economist, so let's just assume I'm always right. So,
That should be your tagline.
well, people don't think much about economists. It's kind of funny. When me and Nikki introduce ourselves to people, they're like, "Oh, you musicians?" I'm like, "No, I'm an economist. She's a lawyer." And they're like, "What?"
Must be your dinner parties.
No, it's not the worst
Yeah,
than
it must be
saying.
really
It's not the
fun.
worst than saying you're a lawyer, right, Shar?
That is
Oh
true.
my god.
Anyhow, before we start the show, we get the latest on the Fed, we got mortgage rates, and we have scary housing things to discuss a little after Halloween. But this is an interesting article, 2 interesting articles that we'll get into. But before we get to have all that kinds of fun, let's stop for these exciting messages from our wonderful sponsors.
Hugh Scott Nadler.
Do you have a big move coming up? I'm Scott Nadler with CrossCountry Mortgage, and I've got the loan to match your dream home. Whether it's your first or your 5th, I'll make the process quick and easy. Call me today. Let's make it happen.
Sedgh and Zuckerman is a boutique residential law firm guiding you and your clients every step of the way with a solution-oriented approach. Make sure to work with a deal maker and not a deal breaker. Contact us today at sznylaw.com.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business, and it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.
And we're back here at Studio 1873, where as far as you know, watching or listening, I wasn't making fun of Shar the entire time during the break.
I think it was directed at Scott Nadler a little bit more than me. I just got a little bit of a...
Well, if you can't
caught a
insult
stray.
your sponsors, who can you insult? I mean, David Letterman did it for years. He didn't seem to care.
I mean, for those that just listen to the ads, you should be hiring a deal maker, not a deal breaker.
This is true.
That is true, right?
all
And I don't have
facts.
to.
It's
I don't
all
have to
See, this is
pay
what
for-
happens when you let
information.
lawyers write anything. It's hard to understand and doesn't make sense.
All right.
All right, so, the government's still shut down. Shame on all of you. And so we don't have a lot of data, but the Fed did meet this week. And I thought I had a good title in the blog. It said the Fed cuts 0.25%, but still finds a way to upset us.
I laughed.
I heard it all the way in my
Did
office.
you hear it from my desk? Oh, God.
Did you write it?
No, I
Oh,
did
you
not,
wrote
but I
it
proofed
yourself?
She edits it.
I
She edits
proofed
it. Okay.
And I chuckled when I proofed
I
it.
write good
You
sometimes.
need a hook, right?
You write very good.
You need a hook. I've been known as a little bit of a wise guy occasionally,
Really?
which goes against, really? Okay.
in the mafia sense.
I am half Sicilian and Italian, so
right.
no
Our
comment on that.
With you and Chauncey Billups, I'd
No,
like
but-
to see the connections between the two of you.
Me and Chauncey, he told me about some injuries every now and then. So, it's kind of like when you give your kid exactly what he wants and then he still complains. But I think we're right to be upset with Jerome Powell. But so they announced what everybody expected. They were cutting short-term rates 25 basis points or 0.25% for you people that don't speak Wall Street, and most of you don't. That's fine. Second straight meeting with a rate cut. Again, not a surprise. They kind of telegraphed it. The interesting thing, one of the things was I was looking at, the series of cuts last year. So last year they cut rates on September 19th, November 8th, and December 19th, right? Mm-hmm. This year they've cut on September 18th, October 30th, and are expected to cut December 10th. So very similar days, let alone months, although they went bigger in 24 with the September cut. But there were 2 members that voted against.
For different reasons.
Yeah, one wanted a bigger one and one wanted none. So,
Yeah.
That's, you guess
Get
which
what
one.
you get.
You can guess that the one that wanted the bigger cut was with the administration, so to speak.
So to speak.
They also announced that they were going to stop reducing their balance sheet. See, Nadler loves to talk about this stuff. Something known as quantitative tightening. Now, quantitative easing is when you throw more money out there. Quantitative tightening is something you do when inflation is too high and you reduce your balance sheet by selling the treasuries and other securities they own. So it takes money out of the economy, which should bring interest rates up. And, so it's not just what they talk about with the federal funds rate. It's what they actually go in the market and do. Mm-hmm. But obviously in an environment now where we don't even know how many jobs we're losing, but we assume we're probably losing jobs or at least not adding a lot of jobs. Mm-hmm. We don't want the Fed doing anything that's going to slow the economy down. It's slowing down just fine on its own.
And inaction may do that. That's what people would argue.
Yeah, so we'll see. So why am I unhappy? Why were the markets so unhappy? And why were people getting mortgages?
I thought of you as soon as it happened.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be the Fed didn't say anything. Paul Volcker, Alan Greenspan, and have these conferences where they just talked and answered questions. Because when they do, they seem to only make matters worse.
People hang on every single word and sigh and pause and facial expression. And this guy did it even worse. What did he do?
Tell us. You know what makes it even worse? He's a lawyer. That's what makes it even worse.
Any chance.
So he came out in the press conference and said, quote, his words, and of course, this is not written in English, but let's face it. A further reduction in the policy rate at the December meeting is not a foregone conclusion. And then to emphasize it, he said, far from it.
That sounds like pretty clear English.
No, it's not. Pretty clear English is...
Not to Greg Heym.
Yeah, really. Have Morgan edit it and we'll see. But, it would just be like a December... You could just say, we're not guaranteeing a December rate cut.
For us.
Or something like that. That's what I would say. We're not guaranteeing a rate cut.
Terms, so we understand.
So you
okay.
are...
We know make move.
So you are the child in that analogy you gave at the beginning, at your intro, right? It's like giving a child exactly what they want, right? So you've been complaining the last 2 meetings or 3 meetings that why does he give lawyer speak? Why doesn't he just
that
say
is
what
lawyer
he's gonna
speak.
Do? That is him saying you guys are banking. There was a 90% odds that we're going to drop him again in December.
Well, I'll tell you why.
And he can't dump it on you the day before. He's got to lay the groundwork just in case.
Well, this is why governors will go out and say things. Like, it's almost like, okay, you leak that and you leak that. It's like...
It's a science.
It's a whole public relations aspect. Sure. And of course, because they don't want any surprises.
And they have
Markets
to be
don't
off
like
the
surprises.
record. And sometimes things have to be said off the record.
Yeah.
But in fairness, their own, after the September meeting, when they did the first cut, their dot plot or their forecast had planned in cuts, 2 more cuts this year, which would have had to have been, at their last meeting in December because there are only 2 left. So that's why people were banking on that. So now it's near 70% certainty, according to the CME.
Still a good number.
It's still good.
Yeah.
But it's doubt we don't need. Add that to the stuff we don't need. We don't need that.
Well, first, let's see. Is there a connection between him and the betting pools, right? So let's see. Has he put any money?
Is he hanging out with Chauncey Billups?
Is he manipulating the markets a little bit to maximize?
I mean, the only scandals you had in sports was point shaving. That was like the big thing. If you've ever seen Goodfellas, they talk about that. That's right. That actually happened.
Henry Hill.
But now, like leaking injury information, and this is what happens when you make sports gambling too easy. That you can just do it on your phone. Nothing.
It's very accessible right now and very popular.
Good. That's why.
But what people have to realize is everything is traceable. You're not calling your bookie and meeting him on Mondays with cash. Everything's documented
cash
on your phone.
Yeah.
You're usually giving cash. I don't know how it works with you.
So, well, I don't gamble. Yeah. I really, because I know that when all I have to do is take out the phone, it would get out of hand very quickly.
So is your bigger problem that he said it's not a foregone conclusion, or is your problem that it is not a foregone conclusion?
No, well, first of all,
the delivery or the substance?
First of all, everybody knows the Fed's dot plot is not a foregone conclusion. They don't follow that. It happens all the time. It's just their forecast. They can change it. Data dependent. Well, guess what? They don't have any data to depend on these days. So I'll cut them some slack there for hedging their bets a little bit. But
there aren't millions of jobs being formed since the
or lost for all we know. We don't.
Exactly.
ADP is trying to, pick up the slack a little bit by releasing a newer kind of 4-week moving thing going on after one of the Fed governors said the wrong thing and they stopped giving the Fed their data.
And that's going to be as of October 11th or October 14th. And that means there's going to be no data from then until
Yeah, of course.
December.
I mean,
so it's old information anyway.
This is a problem. Yeah. But the real problem is he didn't have to be so borderline angry about it. I mean,
the buzzkill at
you
the
didn't
party.
Like his tone.
No, but he said what he said in the first sentence, and then he says, "Well, far from it."
I don't like this guy.
It's like you'll get nothing and like it. That's it's like Judge Smales in Caddyshack. You'll get nothing when he goes, "I want a hamburger, I want a cheeseburger." Anyway, so what happens right after it? Mortgage rates go up 20 basis points. I could hear Scott Nadler crying somewhere. I didn't know where it was. But
is
I
that why he didn't
him.
show today?
I may still be upset. Yes, on the SS Nadler. Probably his hair's flowing in the breeze,
So the problem really was that they had banked on these happening. So rates had already dropped leading up to the meeting, and then they sort of just adjusted themselves. So if you're a buyer or a broker, rates didn't actually go up. If you look at a larger time period, right? They're still down.
Yeah, but when it happens, when it goes up almost 1/4%, like right after the meeting, that's not good.
Right. How do the markets react?
What is that?
They weren't happy. I mean, let's be honest.
Like, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Like,
well,
in the sense of...
It all depends. See, as Nadler always points out, it's about your payment. Like, people may not say, well, it's 20 basis points higher. What is that? The first question you should ask your mortgage lender is, well, what does that do to my payment?
Yeah.
Because it may not do as much as you think. Obviously, the average home is probably about $300,000 if you mash everything in. It depends on the area. Obviously, everything's local. Here, in Manhattan, you don't see that, but other places you do. So I think people have to take into account that property taxes, insurance, everything that goes into that, and. This is why we say it all the time, and we're very happy to gloat about how right we are. The Fed, what they do has no direct correlation to mortgage rates. And we have 2 examples that we put in the blog. So here's an example of the exact opposite thing happening. And that's just because Chairman Powell decided to throw a little extra emphasis on this. Like, leave me alone, man. Maybe you get cut, maybe you don't know. I don't know.
Take that, Gregory Heym.
What do the kids like to say? 6 or 7? Is that the thing?
You did 6, 7.
That's my wife works in elementary school.
I think if Gregory was watching this, he'd be, Dad, you did not just say 6, 7 on the podcast.
He gets mad when I use skibbity, on the phone. He's like, all right, I was impressed you knew it. Now stop it.
Oh
so how does the 6, 7 correspond to the topic?
I think that's
You're
the title.
Speechless.
No, but it's like, isn't it? Wait, we got the Gen Z here.
From that.
Isn't it basically like gibberish, right? It's something that's like not supposed to be taken seriously.
It could be used in like so many different ways. Like it could be like this or that, like 6 or 7. It could be like something's not that great. It's kind of like 6, 7. Like it's kind of could be mid, or it could be like
mid. Yeah, my son likes that word a lot. Mid.
I don't generally use that word. I think that's more of a maybe Gregory's generation.
See, I always wonder that the Rolling Stones song "Tumbling Dice" has a line, "I'm all 6s and 7s and 9s," and I never knew what that meant. And then I started hearing. I don't know if it traces back to the Stones song.
The origin of it.
So how did these kids find out about this Rolling Stones song that's 50? For most of Gen Z, they probably think Tumbling Dice is a Linda Ronstadt song.
I've heard it comes from so many things. I think I've heard it comes from like a jersey number. Then it was a video on TikTok where a kid was cheering for someone whose number on the basketball court was 67, and he was like, "Let's go 6, 7, let's go 6, 7," and then everyone was like,
"That's what it is."
Thank God for that family.
And then everyone was like screaming.
But see, 67 used to be an illegal number.
I've never wanted to talk about economics more than when 6-7 came up. There is no meaning to it. There is no meaning to it.
We're trying to tap the young audience. No, we're trying. I'm telling you that under 18 demographic. You never know. Now my son's 18, so he stopped watching.
Oh
but
my gosh, I'm sending him that clip. Clip that.
He's gonna be like, Dad, I'm changing my name.
You can have the Gmail back.
Look, if you can't embarrass your son on your own podcast, what am I doing this for, Ray? Right?
100%.
Thank you, buddy.
100%.
You remember, we had him on the podcast when he was in full mullet mode. So if that didn't embarrass him,
that's mean of you.
So funny.
You wish you can grow a mullet.
I wish I could grow hair. I'd take it any way I can get it. But that's why I like to have Shar next to me. I feel a little bit
we
better.
actually talked about, I have a friend going back to Turkey for the 3rd time. My wife is like, why don't you go? You can try it. I was like, do you really want me to come back with a full head of hair? And she goes, well, if we don't like it, we can just shave it again, can't we? I'm like, oh, we're not going through this just to cut it.
We're not investing all this money just to be back where we started.
Well, all right, so let's get back to the economics. Somebody want to get back to the...
You know, Lena told me that since I joined, they haven't had to edit or cut any part of the podcast, and I feel like that might be a good start.
That's a lie.
Perfect.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Wait, now he's really going to cringe.
Oh, that's
Shar,
funny.
stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Oh, yeah.
So Morgan's like, oh my God. This is what happens when you hang out with
so
old
you're
heads.
saying no cap?
Yeah, no cap. No.
What does that mean?
It means lying. Capping is lying. I know that.
Good job. What does bet mean?
That means that it's true.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
so
you
my-
need to go on Jeopardy. I always say this. Like,
no,
sports,
so
he needs to go on sports
my
Jeopardy
niece
for
does
sure.
this all the time. Like she'll say bet, and
Okay.
she's like 17.
Yeah.
But the movie I keep telling you to watch, Fear of a Black Hat, which was made in the early 90s, they're using it every other word. So these
Really?
things do cycle back, yes.
Oh, they do.
If
Everything
you watch
goes
the
back,
movie...
even lingo and rhetoric. Well,
All right,
when
I'll
you
jump.
watch Green Book, I'll watch that.
I'll jump into this. I had a client who I was going through the process, and every time I explained something to her, she goes, heard. Heard. I said, all right, then you're going to apply for your mortgage. Heard. And that was her way of saying, like, okay, got it, let's move on.
Yeah.
So I asked my paralegal, and she said, sometimes that can be a confrontational thing to say heard.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her about it. I was like, listen, I'm still trying to catch up on this. And she said, no, I'm a server. So when I'm at the bar and the waitresses or the servers are calling out orders, that's my way of saying, okay, I heard you. So if
Yeah,
they don't
I
hear
got
me
it.
say heard. So go ahead.
Interesting.
Heard.
And he mocked me. I mean, come on. All right, so let's get to mortgage rates. So mortgage rates just fell for the 4th straight week. And again, this was all before the Fed did anything. And you can say, well, they were pricing in Fed cuts. It wasn't just that. The economy is slowing. You know, inflation is come in lower than expected. So those things are going to push rates lower. Now does Gen Z really, again, not paying attention to this because they've all been told they can't afford homes? Is that still the basis?
Yes, I definitely think that's still a part of it, but I don't think we're paying too much attention to it right now. I think when we come towards the end of the year, Gen Z like definitely acts less. Like I feel like sometimes towards the end of the year, people are like, you know what, we're not following it anymore, especially the government and everything, you know, still being shut down. I think people are, I think Gen Zers are just kind of like, oh, the government shut down. It's like, we're shutting down. We're not thinking about it. It's not a thing. It's like when people say things are write-offs. Like I feel like Gen Zs are
Nobody knows what it really means.
No, nobody knows what it
That's
really
that
means at all.
Seinfeld. Well, they know, and they're the ones who write it off.
They're
Right?
like, write it off. What happens? It's like
That was
the
classic.
government just like writes it off. I don't know. Goes
Yeah,
away.
it's, you know, and then,
Right?
but yet they have money for certain things. It's a very complicated thing.
Kudos to all those people showing up to work and not getting paid right now. Those
Yeah,
folks. I was at
seriously.
TSA. Like they're so nice, and they're not generally nice people, but the fact that they're still there, going to work every day.
Right, air traffic controllers, like they don't have it hard enough. And it's
Exactly.
like they're not getting paid. It's like, wait a minute, you got a bunch of people not getting paid.
All right.
You know, telling planes where to go.
Tell
It's like-
Morgan she's not getting paid on this payroll. See
And
if
she's
she-
not here,
See if
that's
she
it.
finishes the podcast.
Yes. Well, it's you know, there is that domino effect because people. I have a nephew that does consulting work for the federal government. It's hurting the housing markets. You know, you think about Virginia markets in particular. You know, they a lot of federal government workers live in those markets, and now those
Yeah.
markets are frozen. Nobody wants to do anything until they know what's going on. Look,
Yep.
they're going to get. They should get their back pay. They always have had back pay before. and I know I've said it a million times, but for those of you watching for the first time, I'm only in real estate because of a 1995 government shutdown.
I wonder if, like, how this will affect the holiday season and spending.
Well, it's not going to be very merry. I mean, it's only the second longest shutdown ever. So it's, the problem is when it goes to other things where people may not get necessities, then it's a problem.
Yeah,
I think we'd all be happy if the government spent less money, but not on things that are really important and requiring people to work without pay is actually illegal for us in the private sector. So, it's all bad. But mortgage rates being lower, and again, and then right after, because this comes out on Thursday, and the date is pre-Fed announcement. So it keeps mortgage rates, around 6.25%, maybe, depending on your relationship with the bank and those sort of things. But again, it tells you, don't wait. We say it all the time. And it's not, I know, I work for a real estate brokerage company. I get it. You're like, you're paid to say that. I said, well, not enough. But because think about it. Remember what happened last year? We talk about all the time. In September, rates were just about to kiss 6% and maybe go lower. And a couple months later, right back over 7%. So I think that, Gen Z and the younger generations are do it now kind of people. Get their phone out. I could do my tax returns on my phone. Time now is to act.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you see how mortgage rates react to things like this throughout, let's say, the last 12 or 18 months, there may be small spikes and drops, but for the most part, they're trending down. And if you look at each individual reaction, that may not cause people to come into or out of the market. But if you had people looking 12 to 18 months ago and they were priced out because of rates, now is the time where they can come back and reassess where they can land.
Right. And if the rates do get where you think they are, you may not go out, but a whole bunch of other people are going to go out and buy. And that's where the FOMO comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. The FOMO comes in. The best time to buy is not when everyone's buying, right?
Right. You want to be, exactly. You want to buy in an area where nobody's buying at a time when nobody's buying.
Yeah.
And people who are selling now need to sell. So there are deals and bargains out there that you can find.
And people need to buy because they're getting married, divorced, having kids. Kids are leaving school.
Life goes on.
It's true. And, I can tell you one of the things I regret is I wish I had bought my house a little sooner. And I know that there's a lot. I was reading an article where Gen Zers were complaining, the houses are unaffordable. And again, it's never been easy to buy a house. It's never been like, oh, yeah, what I got in my pocket, I'll go buy a house. And I grew up in a generation where, our parents had bought a house for like $50,000. Like, that was sounded unbelievably cheap to me. I'm like, where do I get a house for that much?
It's all relative to the time.
$50,000 isn't even a down payment in Long Island now.
No.
Like, it's not even close.
Yeah.
One of the articles I was reading relating to haunted houses, which we'll talk about, and the economy, one of the guys had a great line. It said, most first-time home buyers now are trick-or-treating at the bank of mom and dad in order to afford their homes. Do you really have to knock on the door and go trick-or-treating? Or
it is definitely happening, I would say that.
Well, I thought it was a clever way of saying kids are getting help from parents to buy a house.
First of all, that has always happened.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's always been the case.
Yeah, are able. Absolutely, it's happening.
It's so, again, you're running out of excuses, Gen Z. A lot of you can live wherever you want. That's why you see a higher percentage of homeowners at certain age groups than my generation, Gen Xers, or whatever generation he's part of.
Well, I think we have a big
I actually don't have it. I'm in that little time period.
You're so nondescript. We didn't even give you a generation. That's it.
I'm just Shar.
See, then you can't sing the song My Generation by The Who because you ain't talking about a generation.
I think there's a big discrepancy and kind of gap in our generation, right? There's like kids that are making crazy amounts of money on TikTok and videos and purchasing homes for $5 million and they're 17 years old and it's absolutely insane. And then you have the people that are just going the normal route, right? Who did the 4 years of college and now they're entering the workforce and they're trying to get jobs and, they're struggling with that. and they're struggling to meet their financial goals. So I think Gen Z is like interesting in that way, because I feel like the millennials were just like, we are all struggling. This sucked for every single one of us. It's like,
and honestly, the people who are doing well, there's such a small percentage of it, but because of social media, they can make themselves look much louder. So, and people get discouraged when they see that. That's not real life. Such a small number of people are buying those houses at a young age. I love seeing clients in their late 20s, early 30s, who are a couple years out of school or profession, saved a little bit of money buying a small co-op, a small apartment, a small house in the suburbs. Nothing nice. It's not what they picture when they were growing up about, but they're just getting their feet wet. They understand it's not a scary process. It forces them to save money. It forces them to think of the future. And those are the best, smartest clients, not wasting money on rent. Just get in there if you can afford it. Buy something small, live modestly. You're not going to buy a $5 million house.
No.
Most people, their entire lives are not going to.
No, we also take different paths to get there.
Exactly.
You know, somebody might want to buy a co-op. You know, somebody may want to get a 2-family so they have rental income. There's something out there for everybody. And, you know, you may feel behind the curve. I bought later than a lot of my friends did, because a lot of them didn't have to pay for their weddings. You know, these are things that happen. Plus, there are decisions people are making that impact that. Like, oh, my job may transfer me. All right, maybe now's not the time to buy a home. I don't want to sell it 2 months later. You know, stuff like that. So there isn't like anything else in the world, there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. Is now a good time to buy? Well, do you want to need a home? Then it's a great time to buy.
And you shouldn't make your decisions off of articles and headlines you hear on the paper.
And most importantly, not influencers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
call a broker. Call not lawyers. You don't need so early. But
No, don't call them.
Call a mortgage person. Call a broker. Just get a feel.
Shar will just show up at your house. He'll know you're looking.
Just sign here. Just sign here.
That's the new slogan.
He's like, hi,
Just sign here.
I'm Shar Sedgh from the Crossing the Line podcast. Can I represent you? All right. So we're going to get to what Shar teased. I'm going to talk about haunted houses.
Ooh.
And thanks, Ray.
That was amazing.
You know, Lena.
What? What do you guys?
I thought you hit a
Scare
button.
children outside your house.
What are you talking about?
Lena could have screamed a bit and, like, you know, a little blood curling. See, Ray does everything around here.
I do it
Raise the whole soundboard. You
All right,
don't even
so we're gonna explain why we think it's important to talk about haunted houses right after some more messages from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Evan Greenberg with Langdon Title. I specialize in title insurance across New York, helping real estate attorneys, agents, and brokers close with confidence. I solve problems fast and keep your deals moving. Contact me anytime.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
All right, and we are back to what is going to be a lighthearted post-Halloween segment.
Yeah, a little chit-chat.
Because, you know, we all like Halloween. It's fun. You can decorate your house. It's always fun to see the kids. I'm a grumpy adult, but not when it comes to Halloween. I like to see the kids all dressed up.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool.
When's the last time you dressed up? And what was it?
We had my kid was probably in kindergarten, or a neighbor had a Halloween party. So I put my Darth Vader #1 dad shirt on, because I wear that for Father's Day, and put a Darth Vader helmet on.
Nice.
So that was it.
Nice.
But that helmet came off quickly because, you know, I had to drink somehow. I mean,
Good job.
I wasn't going to try to
Have you
pour it through.
Have you ever done a couple's costume, you and Joanne?
I
feel like you would be
Yeah,
so
I think it was a
anti-couple's
Fred and
costume.
Wilma thing once.
Oh, okay, that's cute.
Wow.
But I'm not a big Halloween.
I was Bam Bam
Dressing.
once also. I'm also not a big guy.
On Halloween.
Now, how big a
I mean,
club did you
Halloween's
have?
really
'Cause
for kids. Like, and it is.
It's kind of weird when adults do it.
The
just
older you
just
get,
like
the
when
less
Gen
fun it
Xers
gets.
go 6 and 7, you know, that's.
Oh my gosh, never saying it again. Never saying it again.
Oh, my cousin and his wife were actually dressed up as a 6'7" this year.
See,
See.
like that's
Very
funny.
funny, yeah.
That's like, you know, you got to make fun of it because it's confusing. It's confusing for me, and I'm 26.
Well,
and I
you're the
think
one that's got to
I
translate
don't
all
even
this stuff for us.
feel like I'm even supposed to know, but it's just like if you're embedded in social media and pop culture, then like you pick up on these things because like you absorb a lot of it. But like I feel like 6, 7. There's like 13-year-olds and middle schoolers saying that. Like, I can't identify.
Or 55-year-old economists on podcast.
Or Greg Heym, exactly, on his podcast.
All right, so why don't you set us up here and tell us the interesting article we found, courtesy of Realtor.com.
Yes. Well, survey came out this weekend that 1 in 2 Americans would be open to buying a haunted house. 52% of them would consider it.
Well, it's going to be haunted if your in-laws ever visit.
Waiting for that. We've been waiting all podcasts for that.
See,
one.
Lena laughed at that one. Right
like this to your tie.
Like I did the Dangerfield thing. I tell you, I get no respect.
I feel like give a fan
no
tie on.
respect.
Honestly, we should have dressed up today. That would have been funny, right?
That's sort of why I asked.
No, I don't
He's
dress
like,
up.
no, absolutely not. Oh, okay, so 52% of Americans would consider buying a house that was haunted, and 72% of them would absolutely buy it. So not just consider it,
if
but
they
for
got
the
it
right
50,000
price.
off.
Well, yes,
right.
if they got it for the right price. And so, I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts about this, of course. But things that I found interesting are, I feel like a big part of it is how much of, paranormal activity do you really believe?
Since you can't prove it.
How haunted is it?
Exactly, right? If you're walking around your house, I feel like there's certainly things that can happen we don't know.
Is it a good ghost or is it a bad?
Yeah, is it Casper the friendly ghost? I mean,
how friendly is the ghost? How often is it around?
One of the examples they use, they use 2 examples of a house that's dubbed to be haunted, and I don't think either house would be considered haunted. Just terrible things happen there. Yeah. There's the Manson home of the horrible murder, and the In Cold Blood house in Holcomb, Kansas. I live near Amityville, and there's the Amityville Horror House.
Long Island,
and there's you could find it anywhere. And just because a terrible thing happened there, that the fact that someone's murdered in the house, I think for me would concern me more than it's haunted, because I don't believe in that. So
why does it bother you?
So I've had.
It doesn't bother me. If something terrible, I would buy. I wouldn't disqualify a home just because someone was murdered there. I wouldn't.
So I've had clients.
I didn't ask that question when I bought my house.
Who's been murdered here?
Yeah. See, that's a very direct question. Who? That's different from saying, by the way, has anybody died here?
My parents, I was telling this before to Greg, I'll make a long story short, but basically they had accepted an offer on a house. They were in contract with this house, and they loved it. They thought it was perfect for our family, and they went to a gala the next day, just a charity gala. They were sitting at a table with people that, some of them they knew, some of them they didn't know. Anyway, the woman gets to talking, and she starts talking about, this house, and this, murder happened in it. This husband killed his whole family, killed the dog on the beach, everything. My mom goes, "Where did this happen?" The agent gives the address. My mother's like, "You're going to die. I'm in contract on that house."
Oh, no way.
Like absolutely. And again, my parents ended up, they were being like, "You know what? Not for us. We have little girls. We have 3 little girls. My dad's like, I'm not testing the waters with
just
ghosts
imagine
in the
the
house.
teasing you would have got too.
Oh my gosh.
It's you live in that house.
But it it's a real consideration for people. And I think if you find interest in that and you're enamored by it, then maybe that's a selling point for you. But I think for most people, it would deter them.
But like anything else, for somebody looking to get something at a bargain price who can live with that, it's like if a house doesn't have a garage or a basement, you always have to make sacrifices.
Yeah.
Maybe haunting is one of them. And you can talk about the legal ramifications of this, but most states don't require that. We have disclosure rules.
I don't think you need to disclose ghosts.
But some of them, if you're asked, you have to answer.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about terrible things happening there, not whether it's haunted or not.
Yeah, I think if an agent is asked, if you ask them, was somebody murdered in this house, then they have to tell you, yes, somebody was. But I don't think they're obligated to disclose it if the buyer doesn't ask.
Correct.
Technically,
so
it has nothing with the condition of the house.
Yeah.
Well, the property disclosure form that we've just started filling out talks about abandoned oil tanks, doesn't talk about ghosts or anybody being murdered there. But I would love to know how old the people were part of this survey.
Oh, they had to be Gen Zers.
Yeah, it had to be younger.
Why do you say that?
Because they don't got the money. That's why they're looking for it.
Everybody's looking for a deal. When I was growing up, there was a house in the neighborhood that everybody called haunted. We used to ride our bikes down the block. It was at a dead end. In hindsight, probably nobody lived there. They didn't take care of the grass or anything, so it was all the way up. You couldn't see the front door, and there were stories about somebody throwing a rock, at a window, and all of a sudden a window popped up, and
The rock got thrown back?
Nobody there. So it was a haunted house. So a couple of weeks ago, I was riding, scooter and bikes with my kid and my nephew, and I told him, this house was haunted. He goes, my friend lives in this house. They have ghosts.
Oh, my.
So,
wait, were you on a scooter or a bike? Because if you're on a scooter,
I
the
was
jokes
walking.
are just going
I was walking.
That's the only acceptable
My son
answer.
is learning how to scooter, so I need to run after him. The kids' scooter, they don't ride bikes anymore. But thanks for focusing on the least important part of that story.
Well, you know what happens once they do start riding a bike, if they do, because a lot of kids don't these days. But with my son, that's what forced me to get a bicycle, because at some point you can't catch them.
Yeah, it's true. So scooter, I can.
And then they
still
forget
chase.
how brakes work all of a sudden.
Oh, no.
I remember telling my son a million times, you have to keep pedaling or you're going to fall off the bike.
Yeah. So they have.
And I'm like,
now.
pedal. And he's like, what? And then,
So they have now these balance bikes, which apparently you don't even pedal.
They're not pedals. It's more about,
it's
getting
all
a balance.
about. So his birthday's in 2 weeks. If Uncle Greg wants to get him something.
Sure.
Oh, you guys saw stuff for babies. Look at that.
Yes.
Look at that.
There it
Maybe you
is.
can do a cameo from the head
There it
economist at Brown Harris.
Do we have a
Stevens.
crossing the
Are you
line
on-
bicycle that we can? It's nice.
Not everything's a
Are you on
branding
camera?
opportunity. Just give a gift to give a gift.
No, everything's. I gave Gregory's bike away to a neighbor across the street, and it's always great to see the happiness on a kid. The bike was in great shape too, because it was gifted to my son by his older cousin.
Amazing.
But it's funny because you'd finish, and then like the fall would come, and then when the spring would happen, it's like you almost forgot how to ride the bike, and we'd have to
You
go all
lose
those things.
3 months exactly.
I know. All right, so
Sorry, just one other thing,
go ahead.
by the way.
Yeah.
There could be ghosts and there could be houses with creaks. People coming from the city who live in apartments who move to the suburbs are not used to homes making noises in the middle of the night. It's the wind, it's the house. It happens. There are no ghosts. I'm talking specifically to my wife, who is scared of sounds in the house.
I think we should get your wife on the show for her perspective on this.
I would love it.
Absolutely.
She has only good
Representation.
things to say to me.
Well,
About me.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Let's go.
I know, she's right all the time.
She's
She's
definitely
told
the
you that
look.
over and over again.
She's
huh?
definitely the looks of that operation.
This article did mention that clients had walked into a house and there was hair growing on the floor in one of the rooms.
That's
And this
more
significantly
that's
deterred-
more
Char's like, maybe my hair could grow in that house.
wasn't my house. Wasn't
So I think that
Or the ghost stole your hair and planted it. They watered it
I
every
think
day.
there's a spectrum to the spookiness.
Drop
that,
Rogaine on the
some
floor.
People might. Oh my gosh.
Off the rails over here with Scott Nadler.
Who thought
Exactly.
not having Scott would make us less mature?
I'm just so funny. I just
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Tell us more about this.
So wait, there is something though that home buyers fear more than haunted houses. We found out there was like a follow-up article. They don't like home repairs.
Yes, they rather have a house that has paranormal activity or spooky features than have a house that has any structural issues.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it's surprising because Beetlejuice
is
can't fix a sink. I mean, come on. Like, what's going on here? Is that true? Now,
Wait, sorry. Let me just understand. So they would rather a house with ghosts than one that needs renovations in the bathrooms?
Yep.
they're more afraid of
contractors-
renovations
Oh,
than
they're more afraid of renovations.
But I think it did say that if a house has like a roof issue,
Yeah.
they rather a house that maybe has some ghosts in it or has like a paranormal aspect to it.
because
than
if you
have
had
to
a roof
replace
issue, the
roof.
ghost would fly out of there, so you don't have to worry about it if it's haunted.
We were talking about warranties on sidings and roof before we came on the air. Maybe this is it. Ghosts
Yeah. But
don't
maybe
have an
they're gnawing at your
expiration.
roof.
Those
I don't know what's
warranties
going
expire.
on.
Well, it is daunting, and it's funny because you're always told to get a home inspection, right? So
100%.
I got a
When you
home
buy a house.
inspection. Yeah, and it's funny because the broker was sitting there, the listing broker with the seller, and the engineer comes in and says, "All right, let's talk outside." And the broker's like, "Why can't we talk here?" I go, "Because you didn't pay for this." So he tells me like, "All right, I give this house like a B+. It's really good, no major things." So I would recommend going ahead, but you'll get the full report in a couple days, right? You get the full report. It's like 50 pages, and the first page is an estimate of repair costs.
It's tough.
And
Well, they're
you
not
look-
supposed to say the dollar amounts anymore.
Well, mine did, and it, like the boiler is 20 years old, so you're going to have to fix that at some point. The roof is whatever years old. Your sidewalk is uneven. A whole bunch of stuff you don't have to do, But it doesn't really say that on there. It just says your estimated cost, and it was like $60,000. It's like, wait a minute.
That's a terrible home inspector. That's a terrible home inspector.
But then you read the report, and they make it very clear that it's, it's an estimate of things that we could see a need for in the near future.
Right.
But I haven't fixed that sidewalk.
Right. So that you would call
I did replace the boiler, but
you would call that inspector a deal breaker, not a deal maker.
That was good.
Circle it back. But those home inspectors, you don't like the language that they used with the foregone conclusion. What was it? What was the word that you used earlier today?
I don't like Fed speak in general.
You don't like Fed speaking. Home inspections are all limiting language. Based on our limited ability to access the crawl space, we believe.
Yeah, I got that with my attic.
That's all they do. They say we couldn't fully test the boiler, but based on visual, leaks, we think it's going to need repairs in. And those home inspectors are just trying to not get sued. That's it.
Aren't we all just trying to not get sued?
Best thing, just to learn more.
Because then we would need a lawyer. Right, Lena?
If any brokers are still listening, if you're doing a home inspection, encourage your client, the buyer, to walk around with the home inspector with a pen and paper on your notes app and take notes. The value that the home inspector will give you during the inspection is going to be much better to rely on the inspection. The inspection is long. It uses language that limits their liability. But while you're there, if they're looking at the boiler, ask engaging questions, and they'll definitely give you information that will be more helpful than what goes on paper.
And in fairness, he did point out a couple things. He said, look, these outlets here aren't grounded properly. The water temperature isn't as warm as we would expect. Turns out they were just turning down the temperature on the water heater. Stuff like that, so you can ask questions. It was nothing that was going to hold up the deal. Plus, I bought in 2006, so I had no negotiability at that point. It was, not as bad as today, but it was still a very tight market.
Absolutely.
Well, and maybe now some home inspectors will bring along ghost inspectors as a part of their team.
Or Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
Who are you going to call, Shar?
Play on words.
Oh, you told me not to sing. Did you not play that Saturday night? You didn't play the Ghostbusters song?
No, we did Thriller instead.
Thriller took up half the gig, I feel like.
Well, I did the speaking part at the end, and I did my laugh at the end of the thing.
I got to see this video.
Do it first.
End us with the
no, because it can't live up to the hype. It's only going to make me look as bad as the other comment I made that you guys are never going to let me forget.
6-7.
Yeah.
That one. Do you want to say it again?
No. I want to add it in my head. I see two numbers. I want to add them. It's just the nature.
Resist the urge.
Listen, when we were growing up, the number everybody was focused on was much less clean.
Okay, enough. The number I was always focused on was 49 because that's Ron Guidry's number. Yeah. The number I wore in every sport I played.
I think the fourth or fifth show I did with you was the 70th show that we did, and the show before you were so giddy about it.
No. See,
roll the tape.
This is how we get canceled, Shar.
Where are the receipts?
He's like he's the sponsor. Anyway, all right, so we got anything else on this? Any more thoughts on this lawyer guy?
Buy the haunted house. If you get a deal, if you're getting a discount on the house, just buy the house. You can spray for ghosts, I think.
It's relative to the person, how much you believe in it, and I think how much it's going to affect you. Like, what would you guys do? Would you purchase a house?
Well, the thing that I don't think people realize is I remember looking at a house where they had combined 2 bedrooms into a really large master bedroom, which only left 2 total bedrooms in the house. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, you may like that, but somebody buying this house is going to want 3 bedrooms. Yeah. I saw a house that didn't have a dishwasher in it. It's like, we hand wash our
It's crazy for a house.
Like,
for New York City, not that crazy.
No, anywhere. It's not. It's a thing outside of New York City. There is a world outside this area, Morgan.
I'm from Long Island. Okay.
I know, you can tell by the accent.
So am I.
No, but you worry. The one thing you would worry about is like the Amityville Horror House or whatever other house you want to talk about. You may say, like, that doesn't bother me at all, but it is going to bring fewer buyers. It doesn't mean you can't sell it.
Yeah.
My concern would be, am I still going to get a good number of people looking at the house when I decide to sell? Because this stuff is never forgotten. I mean, people are talking about these homes, the Manson home and the Amityville home and that stuff.
It's like documentaries. People have such an obsession
for decades.
with those type of stories. that.
Yeah, well, you apparently love to watch them.
No, I don't love.
But then
to
you
watch
get
them.
scared.
I like documentaries. I do get scared. Yeah, I do. I do let that happen to myself, but I'm doing it to myself, so I can't say it.
Right
But
before you go to bed, right?
We were talking about the Monsters series on Netflix, which the Ed Gein and the Dahmer and things like that. That's too much for me. That's like really dark stuff. I don't need the baggage. I don't want to go around my life.
Spoken like a real Gen Zer.
with that on my mind. But that being said, if it's the right house, I mean, I feel like I agree. People my generation, like, don't let it deter you. There's also sage. You could do other remedies.
I'm always shocked at what my son cares about and what he doesn't care about sometimes.
It changes day by day with us, honestly.
It's like, son, you better pick that laundry up. I know, it's okay, Dad.
He's
don't
like,
worry
I'll get
about
around
it.
to it. I'm not
No,
worried
there's
about
only
it.
going to be more laundry, and then you're not going to have any clean clothes to wear. And then your mother's going to want to drive up here and do the laundry for you, and I'm not making that drive.
It's a problem. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah. The other practical issue with these houses, if it's a famous house, you have to expect people to come take pictures outside your house and come during.
I know, when
Yes.
Shar
days.
puts it like Greg Heym visited here outside his house, he's going to be like,
The whole town shows up. Can't get away from it.
we have a lot of loyal listeners and viewers. Thank you all, by the way. Look, I mean, I was watching an old thing with James Corden and Paul McCartney when we went back to his house. And he's not in there 2 seconds, but everybody mobs him. But you think about that, and you find out, like, there was a famous murder in the town I grew up in. And it was two neighbors. And neither of them for 20 years would move. It was pretty unbelievable.
Standoff.
And the kid is still in jail. He's been denied parole a whole bunch of times.
But they believe he covered for his brother, right?
A lot of people think, or his brother had a hand in it. But just think of that. Like, that happens. I don't know if they were next door neighbors. They were close to each other. Close enough where it was uncomfortable, and neither would move. I mean, they both had their reasons. But it was an odd situation. They had to change the layout of the street, make it a one-way, because too many people were driving by it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what the property values have reacted to that around the neighborhood.
Well, you know what?
Those
We got to get my
Yeah.
buddy Michael Vargas from Vanderbilt's Appraisal on the show. I don't think there's an adjustment on the form for that, but
but if it's known, like the next door neighbor, might not be very easy, even if you're not part of the story. The next door neighbor across the
Absolutely.
street, down the block, you may not be
It's
wanting
like
to be
the
close to that.
Gilgo Beach murders.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, and those homes are close together, right? Like, you're close to your neighbors, and the person across the street could have had absolutely nothing to do with it, other than they just picked a house that was near somebody who was crazy. But how does that affect them when they want to sell their house?
It's funny
to the
because they
buyers?
either act like when they ask neighbors about people that do terrible things, it's always like, yeah, I never noticed anything strange about it. I've never heard one person go,
You just
I
see
knew
like
that
a
guy was going to
regular,
do
normal
something.
guy.
I knew I was going to
actually,
see.
this article also mentioned 41% prefer spooky vibes over bad neighbors.
There you go.
That's actually interesting.
I only believe in one kind of haunting: sports stadiums. MetLife, haunted.
Everything
Madison Square Garden, haunted. Like, no championships with my teams. I believe in that kind of jinx.
Well,
The Jets haven't lost in 2 weeks.
Yeah. If only we could have a
That's like
bye
over
every
that.
week.
Yeah,
The Jets,
2
like,
weeks.
we're-
And you may not know they didn't play this week. That's why they didn't lose.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that. And I am in a pool too. It's my family pool. I have to do it, otherwise I get so much slack.
I'm sure
Let's
your
go,
dad-
Motown.
sister's
Let's go,
running after
Motown.
me.
Now, your dad
Running
can't,
after me for the
can't lose a
$40.
pool to your sisters and your mom. Like, that would just be
You know who was
humiliating.
one before my mom? The pool.
These
the
views
pot is
do
pretty big
not.
this year. Yeah, it's very true. But the pot's pretty big this year too. It's over 1,000, and it's all just like family.
Oh, thanks for letting us in there.
My dad would
We're
love
just talking
that.
about
He would love
gambling
that.
too much.
Can you
Wow.
imagine Thanksgiving if Gregory Heym was winning your pool?
Oh my gosh!
It'd be great.
I'd be like, give it to me. I'll give it to him when I get to the office.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, that's it. Hopefully you
show.
enjoyed our haunted house stories. We should have probably led with that. We would have kept the viewers a little longer. But again, thanks to Shar and Morgan and Lena and Ray. And thanks to myself, because no one ever thanks me.
Of course.
Let's go, Greg.
But
Thank you, Greg
most
Heym.
importantly, to everybody who listens or watches, we do really appreciate it. Tell your friends and tell those little kids. Next year on Halloween, if they trick or treat, we're going to have crossing the line candy, so they'll know where to.
Forward the video to your friends.
Yeah.
Get some feedback.
Yeah, again, CTL at
If you
BHS.
go as Greg Heym, you'll get a bobblehead.
I don't even want to know what people would go to.
Greg Heym bobbleheads. That's your next.
You can get a bobblehead of you. You get anybody. You just
I don't have
send
my
a
own
picture in.
podcast.
Not yet. That's the correct answer.
Ooh.
But anyway, have a great week, everybody, and we'll
Yes.
see you next week.